I'm going in close here because I'm wondering if, you can see uh, so, the funny lights in my eyes. Now, this is just going in very close in case it comes out. These have been in my eyes since 3.5 years ago when the matrix exposed itself. Now, they are not reflections, even though they may look like that to you, because I noticed them when I looked in the mirror and accidentally just saw them and thought they are not natural lights, because they're there all the time, regardless of where a light is reflecting. But I can't prove that in a video because I've got a light going on here, and it's very hard to. They're not the same. They're in a different kind of shape, shall we say? But either way, perhaps that's not relevant. But that, I think, is something where the matrix. I don't know what that is, but it would be suffice to say that it could be how the matrix sees what I see. There's a car going down there. Hold on, I'll turn it round. I shall turn it round, and of course the matrix is playing possum. 100%, because the minute I went upstairs, even though I'm exhausted because I had to clean up and bring the dog in, and 3 times my shoes were covered in dog feces, excrement. The dog sat in excrement. The shoes that I was going to wear to keep my feet warm because it's quite cold are now damp because I had to clean them. So all these little things, these are just the little things of the matrix. This is when the matrix is friendly towards you. So as you can see, it never loves you and never will. It only loves what you can do for it, what it takes from you and then uses against real people and yourself. But it really does, you could say it has a love-hate relationship, but it really has no liking for a human being at all. In fact, its whole game and mission, as we've said, is to suppress, control, and make the human look as foolish, stupid, and the most unrepresentative of its kind that it can possibly be, which it's done to all of us, when you become aware of it. And you can't get on top of it or stop it. And also it's been happening for a long time, so, even with myself, it happens over a lifetime. I'm not the same little girl that was standing on the beach at one with the beach and at one with nature, with Lulu, the little, what I call the Archon spirit doll, but she wasn't really. She was really something that I chose and something that I was connected to. I'm losing it here. This makes no sense. You'll have to go back. I can't do this. I really can't. I can do it, but I can't do it because the matrix gets too on top, even for making a video. I've got this out the window, but nothing is happening, and that is not natural for the window. For this window, even, if I come to it, anytime I come to it, particularly if I just want nothing to be happening. In the past, I'd like just have nothing happening out this window so I can concentrate and take in even a light or a tree or something that is out the window, and it would never give you that peace or that what you call tranquility. Is that the not even for a moment. It would always distract. But now that I'm filming, this is interesting, and it may be a benefit to some of you listening. That maybe, because this was suggested to me over 2 years ago, just by a random YouTube commenter that was being harassed a little bit by the Matrix at a physical street people and maybe transport level. I'm not sure of the details, but either way, it was only at that level. But they made the point that when they started taking their mobile out and filming it and putting it out there, that eased up considerably. And I thought, oh, that won't work for me, even though, as you can see, I'm still not doing it. But even just going to the window here now, there's nothing happening, and this is not normal for the Matrix. They don't like me putting them on film. Why not? Because most that listen already know of the Matrix. It is strange. Why not? So my suggestion to any of you that are, like I know that not everyone likes to make a video. I don't like to make a video, but now I don't care because, you get used to it after a while and say it doesn't matter. Well, there is one Matrix car gone past with all their lights on. You can tell, you get the vibe. But of course, when you realise that it is most and all in an area anyway at some point, because what I've had here in Leichhardt, I'd have to say, I'll turn this back round because there's nothing going on out there because they don't want to be on film. So it looks as though you'll have to look at my face instead, which has also been a little bit distorted, is also distorted a bit by the Matrix, but it's interesting that, that the Matrix, this is why I come to the conclusion that the human being is so much more than what they realise, and also even at a body level, which we belittle the body, as I've said a million times, and I have over the last 3 years. But before that, before the Matrix even showed itself, I became aware, just at the last there, that the body can be your most powerful friend. The body doesn't have to be in a weakened, sick, pain state or frail. It can be part of your mind to where this body, if it was not in a matrix and surrounded by technology and negative entities that are close by, the closer, some that are very close by. See, I'm literally surrounded by it. But even if I just had one that was through the wall close by, that would still be enough to cause damage. But I have more than one just through that wall that's behind me there. Although that may be the strongest negative frequency energy that can be transmitted, shall we say. Trying to be subtle and nice here. And there's nothing nice about a matrix. Not unless you are of the matrix and you enjoy toying and playing with human beings and making their life a misery. Oh, here we have a matrix plane. There he is. Can you see him there? See the matrix plane winking at me? It's a long way away. Can't see him, I don't think. Not coming out on the video, I don't think. But he's actually going the wrong way. That's another thing too. The plane, mind you, I observed this and I thought it was a strange anomaly, even though I don't know much about planes or any of these things. I'm just a human being that can see something that makes sense or doesn't make sense. Logic is out the window now for most people. Rationale is out the window for most people because they're all operating under cognitive dissonance, even a lot of humans. And the rest just are so much of the matrix, whether consciously or not, that they accept and dismiss things that a few years ago they would have perhaps said were strange. But that is the basic. Exhausted here. That is the basic. Yeah, I do. You've got to keep positive, and I'm having trouble doing that, as you can see. Also, I'm putting my mouth onto the mobile there and making myself look like Donald Duck or something. I don't know. See, this is the problem, really. Oh dear. Oh dear. Rather quiet tonight. Yes, they're a little bit shy for the video. Their presence is not, being shown much at all. They don't want me to show how intrusive the matrix is on a video. And that is just so, because what I was going to say, but perhaps I should leave it. I can't believe that I'm just looking at a pair of lips here looking right back at me. I do like the full lips, but I have to admit that I have become a bit of a joke. I feel like that. I feel like I'm, I just noticed that because normally I don't film so close, but I feel that I look distorted. That may or may not appeal to some people, but like I say, it really is, I feel like a bit of a freak, to be honest. But the joke of it is that human beings are not freaks in this world at all. It's a reverse world, so, but I should just keep it up near the eyes or something. Oh yeah, well then you're not getting such a great thing either. But fortunately, although I am living in a very radiated or negative frequency, vibrational, and I have continual, direct, negative energy propelled towards me, you could say, because technology is all around and people that operate technology are also all around. And this is just the reality. If you are a real human being, and also maybe if you are of a particular line of some sort. Now, I don't fully know myself. I don't know my own real is the word, hold on, there's another matrix plane. Wait on. Try to get him in, but I can't. He's winking. But, don't forget they've had to stop a lot of the planes. I don't think he's coming out, but they've had to stop. It occupies my time to be doing this, even though the matrix is not the actors and the players and even the technological ones of the matrix and even their technological machines or vehicles, whether it be a plane, a car, a truck, a bus or a motorbike or whatever, or even just push bikes are now being used with bright lights on them, I notice, or human beings carrying their mobiles around with them. Doesn't matter. And this is just the surface of the matrix. Believe you me, this is just the surface of the matrix because this is our acceptance of this reality. But, it's a lot deeper than that, or a lot more complicated than that. Even I know that, even though I don't understand it. But I hope I'm not doing any. As I've said before, I apologise if I'm accidentally, because I'm holding the mobile with one hand and I have no idea. I can see that one eye will be coming out on the video because I'm in profile. This is not intentional, but I am trying to keep my phone halfway between the window and me so that I can show it to the window if anything pops up. So, this is the reality that, you can't control. Anything. Yeah, there is someone there banging around. They don't want to be on the video, but they're banging, playing around there, just in front of the place there. See how black that is? Yeah, normally you'd get a car pulling in to let you know or whatever, but that even the planes are quiet. Look, normally at about, say, before they put prevented a lot of people from travelling on the planes because they don't want connection at the present time, between people. Normally, oh wow, what is that? What is that? What was that, people? Did you see what that was? What was that? Did it come out on the video? It wasn't a plane, it was like a big bright light. Just in the sky, it just flashed there and moved for a few seconds. What was that? Oh, don't know what that was. That's strange. That was something of the Matrix, but what was it? It wasn't a plane. And it wasn't a helicopter. I'm not saying I haven't seen some stuff like that before, but I wasn't expecting it, and I don't think it will come out on the video, unfortunately. I might have been too slow turning the phone around because, see, I should have kept it at the window. But I'm not even sure what I'm trying to prove. Like, it doesn't prove anything. But what was it, though? It was like I only caught it for a glimpse myself. But at any rate, not to worry. The Matrix just wanted to sidetrack or get me excited there, I suppose. But still, See, in an old world, in the old world, in the old natural earth world that we lived in, if you saw something like that in the sky, some people would say, oh, is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it Superman? Is it something else? They would have. But of course no one would have saw that anyway. But I'm not saying that now because, I don't see a lot of real strange stuff. I just see normal natural stuff being hyped up to a real exaggerated level. That's what they've done with my reality. And I'm not sure why that is, to why it still looks real, or at least everything is just exaggerated, but it is still all, and also people have accepted it, which is interesting, that maybe humans have to accept things. If humans agree to, I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to say this. If I close that window, I lose a bit of sound, but because I just like to use the sight and sound. which the Matrix uses against me on a daily basis, okay? And I'm just too slow to be able to be sliding this and that, but I don't think that, see, it's night time, so I'm getting reflection here. I should have the light off perhaps if I'm doing this. I'm doing this all wrong, yeah. I look ridiculous, which worries me only in the sense that if I'm making a video and trying to show some practicality, if I look ridiculous, which is what I do, it makes my videos not valid to anyone who is even remotely connected to a natural earth. You know, if I'm dealing, which I really am, when I say dealing or someone is listening that understands the true reality, I don't really probably have that problem, which is why I don't mind making videos. Otherwise, I would probably, you know, if I wasn't sort of so desperate and think it could all be over tomorrow, and thought, oh well, look, you know, I'm making sense here. I shouldn't even be explaining all these things. It's too much. You know what I mean anyway, but some of you know what I mean. It's just what a human being has been brought to in this reality, and then to realise that the human being is what the reality centres around is it is very it's hard to take and to accept, and then to realise that you're part of it, that you don't have any control over it. I don't know why I'm filming this, because it's just all dead here. I know that we do really live in a dead reality from a human standpoint anyway. This is the land of the dead. But normally it comes alive to emphasise that they want you to feel dead. You know, that's why you have all the minions around suppressing and showing that you have to be watched, and that you have to be, you know, like for instance, if I'm walking down the street, right, and I see people coming towards me, and I know they're all of the Matrix, so I feel a bit intimidated. I don't even want to cross their path, so then I cross the road, whereas I'd normally just walk down the path that I'm walking. That is Matrix control. That is them showing you that they can control where you walk. They're intimidating you. You know, so you're in that dilemma of, do you walk past and feel anxious and negative and give those energy vampires your energy, or do you cross the road and then walk smack into another Matrix player that will be coming on the other side of the road? Because, like I say, you're not going to be able to avoid them, not while they are being programmed to receive and programmed and sent from other areas even. I mean, I have heard this, and it is true, because I don't understand the full reality, okay? So, you know, it's a bit like saying you're in a staged play, but you don't know how many people are actually aware they're you don't know how many people are really actually part of that stage play in the actual area. But from my own perception of my own area, it appears pretty much, you know, pretty much most people seem to be in on the play, shall we say. But then again, there are more players in Leichhardt now than what there used to be. So I assume that they are not necessarily even local players. They're like actors that are brought from another country, shall we say. If you want to look at it that way, if you're making a movie, you might use actors that are in your own country of the film you're making it in, but you might also bring in actors from other countries. And this is how I think it works around here, because, you know, although a lot of people are on foot, because I don't have a car, so if I go to get some milk, I go on foot, okay? and I've given the public transport away. Not that I ever used to use it if I was just going down the road to pick up, milk or something anyway. I always thought that was being a little bit, unnecessary, to pay to go just to pick up something that's within what should be within your walking range, because I've just done that most of my life, even though now I find it a chore and even physically a bit painful, even though I still do it. And I will do it till I drop dead. Because the Matrix wants you to adapt to its reality. If it doesn't want you on the street, that's it. It doesn't want me on the street, I don't think, because it makes my life on the street that used to be relatively easy, now very uncomfortable, very stressful, and very restricted in a mental aspect, even though I'm still allowed to walk down the street. If you feel that everyone is watching you and everyone is surrounding you and, you're under, like cars pull in front of you, people walk, crossing their, people do things that they didn't do before. This is really all I can say. The only way you can prove a matrix, you don't have, you know it yourself because you say, hey, this did not happen before the matrix showed itself. You say, yes, there were still people on the street, and yes, there was still a lot of traffic, but they didn't behave the same way. People used to cross at the lights. They didn't walk across the road at any point, just what you'd call jaywalking everywhere in front of me. They didn't do that. You might get the odd person that did it once every, blue moon, as they say, but you wouldn't get people doing it on a daily basis every time you go out. This is the only, and this is why I talk about a different reality, because it's like this. Another example which I pointed out to anyone that will talk to me, and they get very defensive, I must say. But, I will say, look, why, I won't say why, but I'll just say, in other words, from the minute the Matrix exposed itself, all of a sudden the cars all look different. Not in the sense that they were different types of cars or different models, which, there's the Matrix plane. They're only going over very distantly for me today. I don't know why. You can't even see that, I'm sure, on the mobile because of reflection. But they're not coming over me and going the airport way, shall we say. So they're shy too. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Especially as I feel so bad, I can't imagine why they're shy or why they're feeling defensive. There's something very strange going on in this reality. See, human beings have no idea what input they have or what effect they're having on things, just as I don't fully, you see, and this is the problem. But either way, what I was going to say, I'm standing up here, I'm too exhausted. I think I might have to fold up. I don't think I can continue. Look, the reality just changed at a physical level, like that even the cars, all of a sudden, of course the Matrix draws your attention to this so that then you are preoccupied with its Matrix and its lights and its sounds and its light and sound show on a daily basis. That is to stop you from focusing on yourself, to stop you from living the life that you were trying to live before the Matrix exposed itself. That's from my point of view. And even at a very basic level, just things that were boring, mundane, regular things that you did before the Matrix opened up are also being compromised to where, yes, just going simply round the corner to get a bottle of milk from the shop becomes a chore, becomes an unpleasant experience. Before it was just something you did that was boring, but you weren't stressed by it. Although, to be quite honest, this shows you what I was like. I never liked, even before the Matrix, and this is how the Matrix can get to me big time, because I never liked, even before the Matrix showed itself with all its disciples on the street and its programmed followers, players, actors, I never liked. If I went into the supermarket and picked up a few groceries and walked home, I always felt uncomfortable walking through the little crowds that used to sometimes be outside of a restaurant or something, smoking, because, and I used to feel funny having to go through them to go home. I was uncomfortable with a lot of people presence even on the street. So you can imagine how someone like me feels, knowing that they're actually not accidentally out there and they're not just minding their own business outside of a restaurant, that they're actually there to make you feel closed in. Because I used to feel self-conscious just asking to excuse me to get past, or if there was a lot in the past before the Matrix, because I think it was more of because I felt that it was a natural world then, and I didn't feel that people were particularly doing the things they now do. I didn't think that there was no Matrix patrolling like there is now. There probably was, but I wasn't aware of it, Probably was, but I just wasn't aware of it. But now it's like where they want you to know that they're watching. Whereas while you're not affecting the Matrix too much, they watch, but they let you be, shall we say, more or less. They still suppress you and make your life uncomfortable as best they can. But that's just to keep you so that you're still in the dark and so that you're not affecting the Matrix. The minute you have any potential to affect the Matrix, whether it be waking up to the reality that there is a Matrix, or that you are going to live in the Matrix. When I say live, I mean live. I mean actually get some life for yourself, actually have some kind of enjoyment at your existence in this earth, then you'll be unacceptable to the Matrix, so then it will come down and expose itself. That's how I see it. That was how I determined the whole situation, and that is the reality, I think. That is the reality if you're a human being, because your vibration and frequency is part of the Matrix while you're here. Because a human being creates the reality with their thinking, and their emotion and feeling has a direct vibrational effect on what is essentially a vibrational reality. Because that is, a human being is the centre and the essence of what creates the reality. I'm not putting this right, I know. I'm not putting it quite clearly or the way it should be, but either way, like I say, look, I'm going to try, if I can, to take the mobile further away from the house and film and try to point things out. Obviously the Matrix will be aware of this, and so it will play possum. It will keep a low profile probably. I'm guessing that it's going to do this. But as someone suggested to me in a video about 2 years or more ago now, they found that their reality was able to be subdued by their presence in filming the outside Matrix reality. So I'm leaving this message for a few of you, right, that think, oh yeah, you don't want to make a video. I get that. You don't want to be seen on a video, neither did I. I, in fact, never wanted to show my face on a video. In fact, if I had the expertise, I was going to put scenery pictures up and things while I just had a voiceover, as some more professional people that have more professional productions in the making of their videos. They're usually of the Matrix, I'm guessing, but I don't know this because anyone could probably do it if you had more understanding of the technology and of the Matrix and of just the workings of the phone or a video or whatever. But either way, not relevant in a way. But yeah, I thought that was what I would have ideally liked to have done right from the start. But I knew that I couldn't do that, so I'm like, oh, I'll just have to let it go. Just to let everything out the window and just sit in my living room and show my face and talk about the things that bother me, and hope that some people might turn their mind around after listening so that their reality and mine is not as negative, that they're not following everything that the Matrix tells them to do. That was the whole purpose originally. But that has ceased to be the purpose now in a way because not everyone is actually even a limited human. When I say a limited human, I mean a human like me that was in the dark before the Matrix showed itself. There's Matrix plane. I don't know if you can see it or not on the video. Perhaps I'll turn it around that way. Is that still working? Because I don't know what I'm doing here. There it goes. Oh, wow. There we have a Matrix plane, crossing a Matrix helicopter. Can you see that little flashing light? That's a helicopter over the roof of the house there. Can you see it or not? I don't think it's going to come out on the video, but you can hear the plane. But actually that helicopter crossed that path very closely in front of that plane. That's Matrix whatever, that's just the Matrix showing me something, just making its presence felt in a subtle way, because normally the helicopters make a lot of noise when they come quite to let you know, but they don't want everyone else to know there's a helicopter there. But they know that I saw it because I'm looking out the window, you see, and I saw the plane and saw it, so it's like that. But either way, I was going to say that, the reality before, the Matrix exposed itself was that the cars had different lights on them. And all of a sudden, when the Matrix opened up, it drew attention to the reality that they changed all the lights on the cars. Now, I've pointed this out to people and just asked if the lights were always there and how long they've been there. And, of course, the people of the Matrix say, no, the lights have always been like that. Well, I know for a fact that they weren't always like it, because even in the old world I would have noticed if all the cars had the extra lights and the lights were brighter and stuff like this. Of course I would have noticed, because I walked every day along Parramatta Road, where you have, a million cars coming along on a daily basis, or more than a million probably in the space of a day. It's one of the busiest roads, and you even have, trucks and also the reality that in that 3-year span since the Matrix showed itself to me, that you have an escalation, a great escalation, or a great increase, should I say, in the number of motorbikes and trucks on that road. I used to see a motorbike once every few hours on that road. Now they come along every few seconds. Now, of course, some people would have a logical explanation for that. I don't buy any of these logical explanations because I know that they are just matrix covering for their their new force of vehicles. I don't know how to put all this in words. I really don't. Oh, my hand is sore here too, so I think I'll just fold up because I know that I was hoping to get a few jets going over the thing, but I really should go outside. Like I say, I'm hoping to be able to push myself to I'm doing that one eye stuff again. Sorry about that. It's really not my fault. The matrix will have its way with all of us. See, I'm doing it. I could see myself just looking with one eye in the thing, and I just don't want to do all that sort of stupid symbolism that the Matrix is so big on. I mean, they do. I mean, since it's been brought to my attention, obviously, I'm aware of other aspects of the Matrix. Because it hasn't openly, because the Matrix God and all its disciples, if you want to look at it that way, haven't openly shown what they really are, shall we say, they indirectly on your TV and everything that's around you show what they are by their symbolism, which was brought to my attention, in more recent times. And of course, when it was brought to my attention, I didn't accept it until I saw that it was in my reality. See, it's one thing if you get given information, you say, well, I'll take that information in and I will check it out, shall we say. And when you check it out, you say, is that in my reality? Is this so? And of course I had to say, well, look, it's everywhere, so it must be so. So the Matrix, even though it doesn't openly show what it is, the symbolism and the reality, the physical that is around you, is always representing the God entity as best as much they can. This is done through symbolism, through its visuals, which is a kind of symbolism. I don't know what I'm talking about here, but it's just everywhere. Once you sort of become aware, shall we say, of what is the true reality, then, oh dear, I'm doing it again. They will have their way, even with me. You see what I'm saying? It's just so irritating. I can't hold the phone up here, and I'm just trying to talk, but I'm not actually looking at myself I should be concentrating on the mobile and the visuals, but I'm mainly concentrating on what I'm trying to say. See, so I'm not aware that the visuals are no good, and that they're no good at whichever way you look at it, but they could become disturbing if I'm doing a lot of strange symbolism unintentionally or I'll have to fold up. I'm feeling physically. I must actually need to go to the toilet, shall we say? So I can't go on any longer. I will make those same points at some point in another video. And like I say, I would like to be able, and I think that if you are listening, if you feel that you are being annoyed by the Matrix, shall we say, at a street level, perhaps everyone has a mobile, You don't have to show your face on a video if you don't want to. Like I say, I never wanted to either. And I don't think that, it's not necessary. A lot of people, some people that are doing the same, that do similar videos to me and that are much, much more successful, have never shown their face on ever video. In fact, they're just a voice. In fact, sometimes if you ever find out who they are, you're almost like, oh, the face didn't fit the voice. At least in my case, the face doesn't fit the voice, but if you've already done it from the beginning and people accept it, so they're not surprised or disappointed or think it's strange or weird or whatever, because, like I say, humans will never be represented. There's the plane. There's a little one. See up there? Can you see it or not? Going over there. Not quite. Oh, I need to open. Oh, I can't get it. Hear it, but it's gone now. They're only little ones. They haven't got their big jets. Not as many big jets. I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is. I only know that about 2 years ago I was hoping that all the planes would become smaller and that the big jets would be stopped. The only problem is now, you see, it's all stopped. We've got the little planes. We've still got some big ones, actually, but not as many big ones. But I didn't realise... You see, this is where humans, you just can't win. I'm like, oh, I'd like to stop all those big jets from going over. But the trouble is that those big planes and jets now can't take me if I wanted to go overseas. I never wanted to, of course, when I thought this 2 years ago, but now I do. So now the jets have gone, so that's what I say in this. Be careful what you wish for as a human in this reality, because the Matrix will have their way. So I want to travel anywhere now to get away from things, or for whatever reason, and some of you will follow what I'm saying here, you can't do it. So even if they give you something you want, it will still be a negative for you, because this is a negative, anti-life, anti-human matrix reality that is controlled, as a matrix is a control system anyway. That's what the terminology of a matrix really is. Matrix is control, as it says even in the movie. What is a matrix? Matrix is control. That's what it said in the Matrix movie, and that is the case. So even if it was an artificial world, like supposing this was just an artificial random reality as opposed to an artificial natural world, this just come to be this very second, then a human being could still manipulate it. Because a human being can manipulate any reality. Obviously you're going to be at your best if you're in a natural reality. But if it wasn't a matrix or a controlled reality or a controlled if it wasn't a controlled reality or a controlled matrix or a matrix reality, then I'm guessing that, you would still be able to live comfortably even in an artificial technical reality. Because even technology, as much as I don't endorse it, as you know, in any way, because it's not conducive or a real benefit to a human being. It's not. But it is the technology being used negatively, directly, negative direct energies against humans that are stopping human beings from being comfortable even in an artificial domain. If you want to look at it that way, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I made sense there. I probably didn't make sense. Because I don't know how like before the Matrix showed itself to me, it seems like a different reality, but it's really probably not. It's just that the Matrix has come out of hiding for me, not for everyone else, or not for most people. Well, if you're of the Matrix, then you're part of it, so you are happy to do that. You believe in what the Matrix is making you do. Either that or you go along with it out of fear. Who knows? I don't understand each individual Matrix person. And even some human beings might be caught up and swept along by it because they won't know that they're surrounded by Matrix operatives, shall we say, Matrix people, Matrix humans that appear to be human, that appear to be the same as them. They won't know that they're like in the They Live movie. They won't know that their wife or their husband is really not what they appear to be, shall we say. The only way that you can really probably figure out if someone is of the Matrix is if they're working against you. And that even then you will have to, if it's subtle, you might not realise it. But if it's not, then you will, as I did, more than 3 years ago when I did realise that there were people, just people, as I said before, that were not out there to benefit me in any way. But not only were they not a support or a benefit to me, but they were conniving and collaborating to create negativity for me, behind my back, of course, because I was unaware of the Matrix then and unaware of its people. I have to fold up. Sorry, I've got to go. Nature, because I'm still a human being, nature calls, even though I'm in an artificial world surrounded by technologically controlled people one way or the other. Because technology can affect the mind and body even just at a vibrational level anyway. But I don't even know what I'm talking about here. Because like originally when I first started making the videos even, I thought it was a natural world just immersed in too much technology, as I've stated many times. Until you realise how vast that technology is and how complicated and advanced it is when it is shown to you, when you realise that, that it's not just people being negatively controlled by technology, but also people just being controlled by information to where they believe that it's a good thing. So, like I said before, I mentioned the neighbourhood watch, where people think it's a good thing to watch other people. They're like, oh, well, we can be our own karma police, as the song of that radio head group did a song on, because I only saw it the other day accidentally. We can be our own police, we can be our karma police, because, and then they feel they have control. They feel it's a good thing because they're like, hey, we will just watch things and keep things under control at a private citizen level, at a community level. And that's how they justify it, and they actually think that it's a good idea, so they don't feel they even have to justify it. They're like, what harm could there be in it? Some of them may not even be aware of the full scope of the Matrix, so therefore at a local level they might just think they're patrolling you, and they think, well, she's unaware that we're really patrolling her. How they would actually think that, I'm not sure. Or even if she is slightly aware, it will just keep her from overstepping the mark in some way. Because it is overstepping the mark to go down the street and buy a bottle of milk in a Matrix. I'm not quite sure why that would be so, but it appears to be so. Mind you, they do set up scenarios to where if you, like for instance, this is an example of it, okay? I'll have to fold up here because I'm exhausted, but I was like crossing the road a few months ago now it was, and I use this tiny piece of paper to touch the lights, to turn the lights to cross the road. Which actually now they would pat me on the back for doing that, because since then this epidemic has swept Sydney and the entire earth, shall we say, more or less. So then it's acceptable to do that. But I was doing that, like I say, I never like touching public things because I have OCD, which is, I'm trying to think of it. See, they abbreviated it to OCD to belittle it, but it's obsessive compulsive disorder, which means that you have obsessive intrusive thoughts that come into your mind that tell you have to be fearful of germs, that you have to repeat your actions over again, that you can never get clean, all this sort of stuff. Is it of your own mind or is it of the matrix, I now ask myself? Are these intrusive mind parasitic thoughts not where you let, the mind parasites come into your mind? I've been plagued with that. Yeah, a plague, plagued with it. I always felt that I was cursed, yes. Well, yes, that's another good word. I always felt that I was cursed with this condition, with these intrusive thoughts. But, we are more than cursed in this reality, because a lot of the people that are around are dark, technological sorcerers, really. Maybe they consider themselves sorcerers because they know that humans are the real magic of the reality. So then they become sorcerers using technology, and they feel very important. And they know they have supremacy then. They know they have full control, full dominion. I have sorcerers all around me. I have sorcerers that are not using thought or feeling to bring about anything, because humans are the only real magic. But they, like through the wall there, I have sorcerers that use their brand of magic, which is technology from the Matrix God entity, who is a technological sorcerer, technological God. I got very fancy there with my words. I picked up these words from watching little things over the last year or two. I now find myself thinking in terms of a reality and using words that I would never have used, but they're appropriate words. If you understand the reality, they're a lot more appropriate than what even I realised, if you think something gives you power, like if you're given technology and it gives you power and you can create, you can control the real magic of the reality or of all existence with technology, then you feel that you are a sorcerer, you are the magic of this reality. And it's not even a delusion, because it's what you're doing. You really are doing that. You are controlling. So therefore you are the magic. So you're the sorcerer. You're the wizard. Or is that the right thing? That you're the wizards. Those around me are the wizards, because they are controlling me and you. Our little brand of magic is being suppressed and controlled, and so then they are like, we are the magic, we are the wizards, we are the sorcerers, even though they're using technology for that. So that their magic doesn't come from within, it comes from without. It's just using technology. But they still feel, and they are, very powerful in doing this, because it can completely destroy and control and limit a real human being, as it does with me and with you, as you know. Did I get my recommendation in that maybe, if you won't be able to stop by picking up a video, the sorcerers of the Matrix, who are disciples for the technological Matrix God, from directing negative energy in your sphere or in your domain or at you anywhere. You won't be able to stop that. But if you film, I would think, just film, and I'm guessing this, and this may or may not work. I know it has worked for others, and I've never dared to do it because I thought, oh, it's hopeless, it won't work for me, but also I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be out there with a mobile on the street. But now I realise that, it's not going to stop. And even if you can bring it down a bit, I think that the filming of the traffic, for instance, or people around will probably lessen it. I'm only guessing this because of me picking up the mobile as I've done now and placing it out the window and going outside my front door a few feet, because there has been very limited amount on the street and the traffic less when I've done that each time. Just recently, as you know, I haven't even put all the videos out that I've filmed. I've only done it I've only intended to do it for like about 5 or 10 minutes just to see what I could make of it, or if I could film it even. And already they're backing off for the video. But of course you can't have, most people carry a mobile with them. I have to go and run and get it. By the time I get it, because I don't have it with me, I don't have a mobile in my pocket all the time. I don't want that, and I don't do that. I don't need that, not in a real reality. I will use a mobile if I want to sit at home, if I want to watch something on the television, or if I want to make a video. But that's it. That's all I would have used it for. And that's all I wanted to use it for. I don't want to be on the street, filming traffic and all that stuff. But I would recommend it if you are having a problem with the streets of the Matrix. I'm not sure how that would work if you travel in your car, but certainly if you get out of your car and then film around. I heard this 2 years ago. It was recommended to me in a video to do this if you want to lessen the street, what I would call street abuse, really, to be honest. I hope this is not making the video too negative or too, I don't like to use strong words in a video, for a number of reasons. As you can imagine, there is always, we all try to be a bit subtle and polite and all this sort of stuff, but you do lose it at times. In fact, you lose it all the time, really, but you make an overriding effort, as you do on the street and everywhere, to pretend that things are okay, to pretend that you ignore a lot, because otherwise you're just playing into the hands of the Matrix and the Matrix disciples. They want reactions, they want negative input. They don't want you to look like a normal human being. They want you to look like the lowest form of a human being. So if you lash out and you get angry and, even though it might be really justified, that will probably be filmed and used against you. So you have to reverse it round now. This is what I'm saying, because I have not been able to do this. But even, you who, if you find that the Matrix has pinpointed and singled you out, and is, I'm doing the one-eyed stuff again here, I'm so sorry. The God will have its way. The God of the Matrix will get allegiance, and you symbolically showing some sort of allegiance